Okay, so this is a type of unlimited love which is can't be can't be achieved by anything in the world, only by feeling our creator. And this is done by means of what's called eskafia v'eshapcha. Etkafia v'eshapcha means forcing yourself, forcing yourself to not pay attention to your selfish drives, forcing yourself. In other words, not doing any of the prohibitions that God, things that God prohibits, and forcing yourself to do good, forcing yourself to try to look at the world from God's point of view. And this hapcha means that you don't have to force yourself anymore. You actually enjoy it. You actually enjoy looking at the world the way God wants, and you also you automatically detest doing anything against what God wants, because God is your true identity. That's who you really are. That's what's called transforming darkness to light. That specifically by means of being in the darkness, this is what's called Torah Ohr, a new type of light that comes from darkness. The Fisha Shorsham, because the source of transforming darkness to light, transforming tragedy into joy, in other words, to feel the eternal inside of what's going on in the world, of the bad things, says this transforms the source. This is even higher than what's called the godly soul. Raksha Naflu Lamata just came down below, and it's called the Yimlach Umavet. So what's the Rebbe saying? According to Chabad, right, the Chabad teaches us that a Jew has what's called two souls. There's a natural, regular soul, like everybody else, and then there's what's called a godly soul. And this godly soul automatically, just like that natural soul, automatically feels yourself, and you want to do what's good for you, and want to avoid what's bad. So the godly soul, that's your true self, and it automatically wants to do what's good for God and what's bad and what's not good for God. What's good for God? When God created the world, so doing what God wants, that's good for God. God enjoys doing when we do what he wants, when we make the right choices. So says the Rebbe, so if so, there's really sort of three souls going on over here. There is the the godly soul, there's the natural soul, but then there's the will, the desire, the if you want to call it the courage of the godly soul to defy the physical world, to defy and to transform the physical world. That's a whole different thing. The godly soul is like the soul before it came into the world, pure godliness. The soul, as it comes into the world, gets all confused. What is really reality? What is reality? And the essence of the soul, the essence of the godly soul says, this physical world, that's real reality, but only after you transform it. Being in heaven is not the real reality. That's what the rabbis say. It's better one moment of tshuva, returning to God and doing good deeds, ma'asim tovim, in this physical world than all of the life of the world to come. Why? That's why it's called mayim rabim. That's why the problems of this world are called flood waters, like the flood of Noah. May Noach. Why? Because by means of them, it causes a pleasing spirit. God gets pleased. Tevat Noach. How do we do it? By making what's called Noah's Ark. The word Teva, I don't know where the word Ark came from. Did the word Ark exist before it was the Torah was translated into English? The word Ark means an ark, huh? You go into a store and say, I would like an ark, please. Anybody has an idea what's called? I don't know. In any case, it's not an ark, whatever that means. It was a box. A teva is a box. Noah's Ark was like a big box. It was a big, huge box, and it was slanted slightly on the top. The top of the box was slanted slightly so that the rain would come down, right? And it had a big door on the side and a little tiny door on the top, a little tiny window, whatever is on the top, to let light in. And it says that's the how they lived there for one full year, I don't know, with all the animals and all the smell. But anyway, that's Noah's problem. It's not our problem. That was called the Ark of Noah. But the Ark of Noah, the box, Noah's box, I guess it's not good to call it a box. So Noah's Ark, Shehu Bechinas Tevot. This is what's called, the word Teva means a box, but the word Tevot also means words. Tevot, the words of prayer. Going inside, Noah going inside of the ark. What do? We have to also go inside of the ark. The ark is the ark, the words, the word Teva, the letters, the words of prayer. Like it says, like God said, God said to Noah, you and your family go into the ark. That's what it means, that the flood waters rose very much. Chamesh Esrei Amma. It says that the waters rose up 15 amas. An amma is like a foot and a half, something like that. Something like about a foot and a half. So it rose up, what is it, 20 something feet, right above. But it's called 15 amas. 15 are the first two letters of God's name also. Yud and then Hey. This is what's called strengthening the power of your natural soul on the godly soul. The flood waters are waters of tribulation, difficulties. This is when you have difficulties in life. You have to work hard. You have to make money. You have to deal with difficult customers, and the products always don't come when they're supposed to, and et cetera, et cetera. All the problems of making money. This is for your natural soul. That's called the waters raise up. But by means of this, afterwards, there's a Torah Ohr, because of all these troubles and because of the flood. So it comes out something different. It comes out something different than it was before. Noah went into the ark, and when he came out, there was a new world. That's what it says, that the ark, or we said the word teva also means the letters of prayer, that it floated on the water. That the problems of this world, that's what elevates our prayers. But Torah Mateva, that specifically when a person is in the world and he has difficulties in the world, whatever they are, they don't have to be severe difficulties, but it's not. It says there's a law in Judaism that a judge has to be a person that's married. He has to be a person that's married. Ideally, that he has children also, because a person that's married and he has children, so he's beset with the difficulties and the how do you say, the surprises, unfortunate surprises of the world, and he has to deal with the world. He has to deal with the world. And a person that's not married and hasn't got any, especially if he hasn't got any children, hasn't been married, so it says he shouldn't be a judge because he'll be cruel. He looks at the world from an what do you call it? A scholastic viewpoint, not from a human viewpoint. Everything has to fit into a box, right? Here we have opposite that is the box, the teva of words of prayer, and the words of Torah also. But here it says the words of prayer, and what elevates these words of prayer are the tribulations and the trials of the world that washes away all the bad things. I mean, if it doesn't wash it away, then it drowns you. Then a person just goes into depression, or he goes into whatever is aggression, or to pleasures, or whatever it is, right? Addictions. The world can really conquer us. But if we don't allow the world to conquer us, it means that we've revealed something really eternal within ourselves, our true self. And that's what's called the troubles of the world that elevates us. Like I said, the judge, if he has troubles in the world, he's married, then it elevates him to the point where he's merciful. He can look at other people and understand why they made mistakes. And that's the prayers. It's Ola Lamaila. That's a big mistake of businessmen, Shabbat, that they think, that they think that they can't pray like people who sit and learn Torah all day. Why? Because a person who sits and learns Torah all day, his mind is calm, and he can learn Kabbalah, and he can think about the secrets of God and arouse his heart. And that's a person that can really pray. But a person who's a businessman, so he takes a break like in the middle of the day, or when he goes in the morning, he prays, he has to hurry up to get to his business, so he can't really concentrate, right? Says the Rebbe, wrong. That's not so. Exactly the opposite. People that are businessmen, that are occupied in the world, they have to break away from the world. They have to find something inside of their soul that's so calm and so stable that the world doesn't interfere with it. They can pray. And then even if 1 minute, if they find this, that they can pray even better. Because the better type of light comes from the darkness. That's what it's called. That's why they're called the waters of Noah. That's why the flood of Noah is called a pleasing spirit. It's a pleasing spirit to God. This is the idea of Shabbat. It's the calm point within inside of each and every one of us. The eternal, infinite reality, which is inside of every human being. That's our soul. Shabbat, and that's also the point of Shabbat. That in the 6 days of work, then we're expending our energy. Our energy goes out. Like the first day, it says God said, there should be light. On the second day, it said that there should be a division. On the third day, it says the earth grew up. Hello, Mishu Badelet? All right. I don't know what it is. Okay. That's called, 6 days are called the days of work. 6 days of Shabbat, but on Shabbat, that's the day when we rest from doing work. We find the inner point of godliness. So it is also the tirdot for Esek Parnasa, when a person is busy in the world, dealing with the world, making a living or whatever, then Shenikra Mayim Rabin, that's called turbulent waters. Shemitapchim va'olim achakach. Then it goes afterwards, godliness by means, then by when the prayer of the on Shabbat, then that's when our prayers can really elevate. That's called Neicha Deruch. It's called a pleasing spirit to God. So from the darkness, from the confusion, from the flood, it can wash away all of the extraneous, unnecessary parts of our personality that we think are really us and they're not. It washes them away so that we reveal who we really truly are. If you ever, I've had a lot of a connection with people that were addicted, and people that are addicted is the big problem. One big problem with addiction is that they think that there's no alternative. They think that that's just reality. And a lot of times it brings them to rock bottom, right? They realize the things that are really real, like family and love and care and friendship and all the things, that suddenly they've cast those things off. They've thrown those things away for this false reality that they're in. And it's because the world, right? The world, a person wants pleasure. You can't get any pleasure from the world more than like taking some sort of a drug or something like that. But it's a lie. That's the problem. It's a lie. How does a person how does a person get out of it? So suddenly he thinks to himself, listen, this can't be me. This can't be all there is to life. Just running around after another, shot or another sniff or another whatever. That can't be all there is to life. Look what it's brought me to. I'm lower than an animal. And suddenly a person can start to realize, well, then where can I find the power to ignore this? And that power that they find inside of themselves, that's the true person. And in some ways, those people who were addicts and they came out of it, they've conquered the devil. They've conquered the devil, the dragon. They've reached some sort of a point of true life that others have not achieved, because they fought with the darkness and they won. And that's the whole idea of Shabbat, and that's the whole idea of the flood. And this we're going to talk about more, God willing, tomorrow.